Gentlemen, are you paying enough attention to her nipples? Probably not. That is why I'm making this video. Hi, I'm Caitlin V, your sex and relationship coach, and today I have a very simple yet important message for you, and that is we want more nipple sucking. Seriously. Why? Because it is amazing and seriously underrated, but that is only if you do it in the right way, because I have some bad news for you. Most of you don't. My limited sample size collection that I have done over the last 20 years of being sexually active, very few of you get it right on the first try. But that's okay, because today I'm going to tell you exactly how to become a master nipple sucker. In fact, I'm going to teach you how to become the master nipple stimulator. Simulator? Yeah, you're going to become a nipple simulator. We're going to teach you how to simulate nipples. All of the women whose nipples you encounter in your life will thank you. But before we dive into the how, let's quickly address the why. You may not know this, but the nipples are directly linked to the genitals. I mean, wild, right? But it's actually true. When they're stimulated correctly, they send sparks to the genital sensory cortex, which is the same part of your brain that is stimulated through direct vaginal or clitoral or penile stimulation. Some women are even capable of having full-on orgasms just from nipple stimulation alone. So trust me when I tell you that knowing how to treat her nipples right has the potential to elevate you to serious sex god status. So let's dive right in. Here are my 5 tips for out of this world nipple pleasure. Tip 1 of 5, communication is key. If you want to have great sex, you have to have great communication. I've said it once, I've said it twice, I've said it on 300 plus YouTube videos. As with any other sex act, consent is crucial. Before playing with her nipples like the world's tiniest little violins, make sure she is into the Stradivarius. Also, some of y'all are little nipple monsters out there. I see you, I've seen you, I've been with you, the nipple enthusiasts out there. On the other hand, she may already be sucked to death. So, you need to also check in to make sure that she wants more from you, or if maybe she wants you to do it differently. And keep watching so that you can enhance your technique, you little mammary lovers you, because I want you to be the best ever since you obviously love it so much. The thing about nipples is that no two are alike, and I'm not just talking about like aesthetically, like lefty is bigger than righty. I mean that literally we all have different sensitivities and preferences, even on the same body. So it's extra important that you make sure that what you are doing is pleasurable and to the exact nipple that you're doing it to. Nipple sensitivity can be affected by a lot of things, like surgeries, piercings, breast size, and some people even have numbness in their nipples aside from any piercings or surgeries that have ever happened to them. Many people find a high pressure touch to feel weird or uncomfortable. And on top of that, the sensitivity of a woman's nipples changes along with her menstrual cycle. That means that one week she may really want them to be sucked hard and pinched, but on the other week she may prefer just like a light licking and that's all she can take. So be sure to encourage and request clear communication around how things are feeling for your partner and what they want or don't want. It is the only way to know for sure that they are having a good time. Tip number 2 of 5, start slow. On top of clear communication, another way to make sure that your partner isn't getting overstimulated is to start off nice and slow. You can think of a woman's nipples similarly to her labia or her vagina. She needs a little time to warm up, and starting off with a pounding is rarely a good idea. Especially if your partner is new to nipple play, starting off with gentle licks or kisses and working up to a more pressured suck will give you more time to make sure that you know exactly where her limits are. And nipple sucking can be a great way to build anticipation for the rest of a sexual experience. So teasing is your friend here. Play around with stopping and starting. I think a lot of guys don't get this, like stopping and giving her body a chance to sort of like load all of that pleasure before you bring it back on. Moments of stillness, these are your secret weapons. Make her beg for it. Another fun and kinky thing about starting slow is that you get to experiment with pushing the envelope. If you slowly work your way up to a harder and more pressured suck, you will get to know exactly where your partner's limits are, and knowledge is power. When you overwhelm the nervous system by coming in hot and heavy, some people's nerves just like shut down and then they can't feel anything. So in order to get to where you're going, make sure that you plan a route that is, let's just say, scenic along the way. Tip 3 of 5, switch it up. All right, when it comes to nipple sucking, it is crucial, and I mean crucial, to switch up techniques. As euphoric and sexy as nipple sucking can be, most women don't want to feel like they are straight up breastfeeding a grown man. I say most because some people do. But if your technique is exclusively sucking in a consistent and rhythmic pattern, she may begin to wonder if she's lactating. And that is not the vibe. Unless, again, it's totally the vibe. Holler, you milk fetishists out there. The key to truly great nipple sucking is switching up the technique and giving her a whole variety of sensations. Try running small circles around her nipples with your tongue. Lick her nipples with a gentle and then firmer pressure, and don't forget to include the areolas. If she's even into it, you can even bring your teeth into the mix. But make sure if you're gonna get toothy that you start very, very gentle, and I mean gentle, like just little grazes. And if you're doing anything that resembles a bite, make sure that you apply minimum pressure until you are told otherwise. Breath is also your friend. You can play around with blowing warm or cool on the parts of her nipples that are still a little wet with your saliva. The changes in temperature can be super pleasurable, and it's also a great way to give her a break from the more intense sensations. All right, moving on to tip number 4, use your hands. Look, your mouth can do wonders, but if you have other tools at your disposal, why the hell wouldn't you use them? While you're putting your mouth to work on her nipple, you can be using your hand to massage her breast, intensifying the sensation, or maybe even directing it where you want it to go. You can also reach over and give her other nipples some love. I mean, we have one mouth, but 2 hands for a reason. Pinch it, graze it, stimulate it, you got it. In fact, nipple sucking is actually a great time to use your hands to explore the entire rest of her body as well. This is a good idea for a couple reasons. Not only does it feel good to be touched, but it will also make her feel like you are appreciating her entire body. And when you have 2 sensations going on at once, it's harder for her to get up in her head. So massage her breasts, run your hands along her body, squeeze her close to you, show that you are enthusiastic and present. It's in the details that you are elevated from a good lover to a great one. Did you hear that? The people in the back, the men in the back. It's in the details. That's what makes you a great lover. I promise you this. And here's a pro tip for you. If you're feeling adventurous, your hands are not the limit. There are tons of toys and tools out there to intensify nipple play. I'm talking vibrators, clamps, suction cups, clamps that have like little bead strings on them so you can like pull her along. If you're down to get adventurous, you have got so many options. Just visit a quality sex store and ask them where the nipple section is, and you will be delighted. And by the way, I have to say, as amazing as YouTube is, and thank you YouTube for being the sex positive internet social media daddy that is letting me live another day on your platform. But if you want to hear all of my tips and techniques, then you have got to check out my private members only group called High Performance Male, The Sexual Advantage. It is where you get direct access to me and my coaching so that we can really dive into the things and all of the fun things in particular that we're just not allowed to talk about here on YouTube. Seriously, check that out, but I digress. Let's get back to the nipples. Tip number 5, practice on yourself. My final nipple tip, my final tip for pro nipple play today is to practice on yourself. Sure, I can hear you saying this already. My nipples are different than women's nipples. I know, but you still have them, right? Sort of like buttholes. They are the great democratizers of sex. But if you're wondering what different levels of pressure feel like, how pacing and different techniques feel like, how they affect her experience, there's only one way to find out. Again, kind of just like the butthole. If you want to play with it on somebody else, play with your own first. You can use fingers and lubricant to create a lot of pleasurable sensations and to perfect your technique. So why not try that the next time that you're masturbating? Even if your nipples aren't very sensitive or erotically charged, exploring your own body will give you a chance to maybe increase and enhance your nipples' ability to experience pleasure. It will give you an opportunity to practice those techniques so that when you are with a lover, you feel more confident and you have a deeper understanding of your own preferences. And again, if you don't feel anything at first, don't give up. As long as you continue to stimulate your nipples along with your genitals or as long as your self-pleasure practice, the more pleasure that you will begin to wire through your nervous system. It's like Pavlov's nipples. Like, the more that you associate it with pleasure, the more pleasurable it will be. The more you know about exactly what brings you pleasure, the more you will be able to actually seek it out and provide it both for yourself and others. There you have it. No more neglecting the nipples, my friends. Seriously, they are a body part with so much sensory ability, so much potential for pleasure. Let's give them all the attention that they deserve. And if you are with a person who has nipples, there is a chance that some level of stimulation will enhance your sexual experience. And I say, more pleasure is better. I'm Kaylin B. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you here next week. Bye.